Hey everyone, thought I'd come here and let you, I guess to quote Chris Brown's, the irate gamer, give you a bit of a tech review and sort of a overview, if not recommendation. Now, we all know that, when it comes to our computers, whether we have the newest kind, whether it's a few years old, maybe a decade old. Mine's, geez, mine, the one I have, is about 12, 13 years old, going on it anyway. Depending on the kind that you have, or you have a notebook or a laptop, depending. The one thing you always worry about is, how much space am I going to have? Can I maintain that space that I have? Well, you can, depending on whether or not you're willing to spend so much money. Me, I spend around maybe just a little less than $200, and that's my dog. She's just, she thinks I have something and I don't. So, if you're willing to spend a little over less than $200, you've got a good buy there. Less than $200, you got a pretty good buy. But if you have other computers in the house, I'm trying to tell that there's nothing. I don't have anything. She's expecting something that I don't have right now. Hold on. This usually keeps her busy. But anyway, if you have computers like me and my mom have, we have one in the rec room, one in my room, that are very limited on space, but you like to use those computers sometimes for, to do projects. Like with my computer, I always used it to do fan vids, and I still might do that, but then again, I might limit it to my notebook as well, or maybe even the rec room, courtesy of something else. Now you see, just because I'm going to do that doesn't mean I'm going to load everything onto those computers. No. I'm going to be able to use something, hopefully, that works. Hopefully that will not cause me to lose anything in the future. And if I do, well, I can pretty much just start all over, right? But what I want to review here right now, and kind of do a tech review on, because it seemed to work pretty well, and it came out just last year, and that is the Seagate 1TB expansion portable drive. Basically what this does, depending on what computer, now it uses a laptop or a notebook as an example on the cover. Now, what this does, for the price that I got it for, I got it for basically around $61, well, I work at the job I got it from, so for a discount, I got it for about $61, or a little under $62. Without the discount, you're looking at about maybe $64, $65, $67, mostly probably about $67. With that tax included, and with the additional, and I do recommend this, additional 2-year replacement plan. Basically, you want to get that additional warranty from the store you buy it from, so in case anything does happen, you can get it replaced. But but without the tax, the discount and all that, it's roughly around $60. And for $60 altogether, excluding the taxes and warranty plans and even the discounts, you pretty much get a very good device here. Now there are some things on it that might throw you off. For example, when you plug it in, and you want to get to the drive, it'll be there. The drive will be there. But it'll automatically hook up. It won't take too long. Your computer should read it automatically as an additional drive. Now, what's funny about this is when you read when you see it pop up on your computer, you go to My Computer and you look at all the drives and you see the Seagate drive on there, the expansion, you'll notice that if it gives you the detailed information on the left side or right side, depending on where that information comes from, it'll actually tell you that this is really 931 gigabytes. It is 1 terabyte altogether, but some of those terabytes, or some of those bytes that make it 931 are actually used for some of the stuff that's already on here. For example, there is a setup deal. That's right, you can actually set this thing up, but in addition, you can actually set this thing up. There's a setup deal. It's like it's basically a driver deal that it takes you to the Seagate website, and there it gives you the option, if you want to download for an additional drive, if not to improve your drives. It's basically a, hey, you bought this, but hey, we can give you more kind of stuff. Now, what it also does is recommend you have Internet Explorer 8. Now, the one thing I did not do when I disconnected this from my computer this morning was leave it on there so that Windows 8 could, I mean not Windows, but Internet Explorer 8 could properly load. That didn't affect my computer though, but that did not affect, like I said, it did not affect my computer whatsoever. Now, what's interesting about this though, is, again, it has these other things. It really does. It has those things. It takes a while for if you want to go the Internet Explorer 8 route, it does take a while for it to load up because it's not only giving you Internet Explorer, but it's also downloading, uploading to your computer some antivirus software for your Windows or your Mac or whatever. And it will read exactly what computer you have, from what I understand, because it pretty much knew what I had. Now, with that said, is it a good buy overall? Absolutely. Here's why. You see, for several years, my nephew, who's now in the Navy, as well as my mom and other people, would be like, why is your computer so slow? And I would look at it, and the reason it was slow is because I had a lot of stuff. Mostly on my G drive. That's right, a G drive. Not a D, not an F. This is actually the F. But not a D, not a E or anything. It was actually the G drive. I have a C and a G drive. I'm sure other people do as well. Like I said, I'm sure other people do as well. But I have a C and a G drive installed on my computer. So I looked at my C drive and I took as much as I could off of that. It might take a little while longer to figure out what's going on there, but it seems that some of the stuff on the C drive primarily has to stay. Some stuff can be taken out, some has to primarily stay. But when I looked at the G drive, a lot of the stuff I took off there primarily came off. Some did have to remain, not saying everything, but some did have to remain, others did not. And I was able to actually take them all off. And the result is I have a nearly, let me put it this way. I have my G drive that's installed on my computer. My G drive is basically back to the way it was when I first got it. It practically now has about it has just a little under 74 gigabytes now back on its drive. So that I noticed that when I restarted my computer and all that, because that was recommended, I noticed that it did pop up a little faster. Certain areas did pop up, like the folders and stuff, so it did pop up just a bit faster. So hopefully that did help it out. Now I'm also going to be using this to go to the rec room computer and probably take some files off there to clean that up a little bit as well. But is this a good price? And I'm pretty sure you want to see what it looks like. Well, it's basically what you see on the cover here. But to give you a better idea, now this isn't how it was packed. This is actually how I did it. Because I was just, I always like to put the stuff back in the box after I'm done. especially if it's stuff like this. But of course, you get your USB cord, which is I think it had like a little wrap or something. I don't know what I did with it, but it's actually recommended from what it says on here for USB 3.0 and USB 2.0. And this side here connects into your drive. Now, here's the drive right here. Here's the little instruction manual. Yes, it does come with an instruction manual of how to get it going. So, yeah. It has a dashboard and all that. So, it basically shows you how to do it and everything. So, that's pretty nice. Now, here, if I can get it out, is the terabyte. It's the terabyte Seagate drive itself, and as you can see, maybe there it has Seagate kind of engraved right there. So that's pretty cool. Now this end here is where you'll connect this end, like that. That's how you'll connect it. You'll be connecting it like this into here, so that when you take it and put it on any other computer, you'll be able to find your files on here. Now, what's funny about this, like I said, is for this small deal, at basically around, like I said, without the tax, without the warranty plan, or even without the discount, for roughly $60, this is a pretty good buy, because here's the thing, even though it's a 1 terabyte, it is 1 terabyte, but like I say, some of that's taken up by the setup devices and by the setup apps and stuff like that that are already installed in here. At 1 terabyte, actuality 931 gigabytes, it actually fills up, it actually has plenty of room. I mean, like I said, my G drive that's installed on my computer in my room was down to about 34 gigabytes. Now you might say that's not too bad. Well, primarily it's not. But if you want to have a lot of room, especially if you want to download a big file and stuff, you want to have that. So the G drive was kind of halfway to what it was. So basically 40 gigabytes less than what it should be. Now, what this allowed, that's my dog drinking her water. What was funny about this is I was able to, like I say, take some files off the C drive, and that kind of cleaned it up to by 1 gigabyte. 1 gigabyte was taken out. When I did the G drive and cleaned that out completely, this went from 931 to about 897. That's not bad when you think about it. That is not really that bad. 897, I believe, gigabytes left on here. That's plenty to go to that computer and clean that out as well. But if you're looking for a terabyte drive to actually get at an affordable price, I would recommend getting one like the Seagate expansion pack and getting the warranty with it. But if you want to get a Toshiba one, that's up to you. You want to get the other kinds that are out there, that's up to you. Whatever you feel it suits your fancy. Now, like I said in the previous video, I think I mentioned this in the previous video where I was talking about the difference between the micro SD cards and the regular SD cards. The same implies kind of here with the terabyte drives, and that is the more terabyte you want, the more you're going to have to spend. Like a 2 terabyte drive at my job cost about $109, and basically about $110, roughly around $110, and then the other cost about $10 more. So, or at least I think about $10, about $5–10 more. So, and that's a 3 terabyte. And then you look at 4 terabytes and 5 terabytes, you kind of get the idea that the more you want, the more you have to spend. But at $60, honestly, this is not a bad price. This is not a bad choice. And it actually works very, very well. And if you have like a notebook and everything and you want to, I don't know, make AMVs or fan vids like I do through Windows Movie Maker or whatever, this is the drive you want to have. Now I haven't tested it out yet on the notebook drive yet, on my notebook computer yet, but if it does exactly what the what the micro SD card at 16 gigabytes did for me the other day, and just read it off the drive, that will be tremendous, because basically I won't have to, install it onto the computer, because I don't need to waste any more space than what I have already on there. Excuse me. Well, like I said, if you want a good drive, I do recommend getting something like this at a cheap price, because it will enable you to save what you have, and you'll still have enough room for more. I mean, let's say you're, and the one problem about this is just getting it back in there. There we go. Like I said, if you're someone that's in college or in high school and you have like some kind of a film class and all that, and you need something that's going to save you enough space, it's not going to ruin your computer, but you need something to save your files on, back them up, this is something to get. It really is. Because a lot of the FanVids, AMVs, if you will, that I've uploaded here on YouTube were created on that computer in my room. And what's funny is they're now all on here. There's all of them are here on this one little thing in my hand. In my hand is all of my FanVids, if you will, along with other stuff, including the Genesis, the emulator for the Sega Genesis, and the hack, if you will, for the Sally Acorn, to play Sally Acorn in Sonic the Hedgehog 1. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, folks, that's just my little bit of a tech review, overview, and recommendation for the Seagate 1 terabyte expansion pack. I do recommend getting it, especially if you have homework and stuff like that. I do recommend getting it, because believe me, it'll be worth the money in the end. But again, it all depends on what your fancy is as far as terabytes go. If you're like Zara Nizarak, Sean McLean, you definitely have to consider getting bigger terabyte drives, because those things, because what he does and what he tries to do, in his spare time, converting and rendering and all that, his VHS tapes and stuff. Yeah, that takes a lot of that takes a lot of space. Well, if you're like Angry Joe or James Wolfe or Nostalgia Critic Doug Walker, you do need big drives, if you know what I'm saying. So, but if you're just starting out and you have a computer that, like I said, probably has about 500 gigs, 400 gigs. In my case, maybe 20 gigs or something like that, or 200 gigs, whatever, or 20 gigs, whatever. You want to get something like this to back you up. You really do. So let me know what you guys think down below. Again, that's my tech review for the Seagate tech review overview recommendation for the Seagate expansion 1 terabyte expansion plus portable drive for the PC. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I will talk to you all later.